My boss used to be my best friend till she became my worst nightmare.
A tale as old as time.
Trigger warning, verbal abuse. Also, this comes from one of our family members on the r/okstorytime freaking subreddit.
Wait,
Nice.
from the fam?
I was recently fired without just cause from my full-time job. I received severance and I'm moving on. But I really loved my job and my coworkers, so losing it has been difficult and stressful. And honestly, just really sad. I excelled at my job and it brought me a lot of joy overall. I was paid well, appreciated by my coworkers and clients, and the job itself was a perfect fit for me. There were so many boxes that were checked. By the way, this comes from Proper Armadillo 123. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. So OP says, the only real downside, however, turned out to be a big one. The boss, who also happened to be one of my closest friends for a time. I live in a somewhat small community and was casual friends with the owner/boss, whom I'll call Donna, when I was hired. But we quickly became close friends after I started working there. She called me her sidekick. We worked very closely together, more so than anyone else on the team. Because of this, she sung my praises when she was in a good mood. But she was also harder on me and more critical and abrupt towards me than anyone else, aside from her husband, who also worked there and was often blessed with her backlash. I am usually very kind and loving, emotional person with a big heart who cares deeply, whereas Donna was almost the total opposite. So we're an odd pairing that confused people who really know me and knew of Donna's reputation. She behaved as if I was lucky to be chosen by her because she didn't open up to many people.
Well, I feel like was that what that was? Or was that more like people in the office are like, how are you friends with this? How are you friends with this person everyone else hates? Like, don't you, like, this person who has a problem with literally everyone else, but you're friends with them? Like, how is that even possible? That's how I read that. I don't know.
To be honest,
Because I could see that, like,
yeah, I
everyone.
just think that this person's a little bit more abrupt or more, and
Donna?
Donna, and people are like, oh, this kind of catches me off guard, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's always a hard position to be in, being friends with your boss, because people are automatically going to be like, oh, yeah, oh, look at best friends with the boss. You know, kind of no matter how your boss is, like, people are going to be like, oh, yeah, like, check out the butt kisser over here, like, being
brown
best friends
noser.
with the bros, with the boss.
Someone recently called me a brown noser whenever I was just trying to be, talk nice about them.
It's crazy.
Donna had a history of not burning bridges, both personally and professionally, but nuking them.
Oh, even worse.
Oh my.
Much worse.
And joked about how spiteful and vindictive she could be. She regularly told me I had to keep our personal and professional lives separate, but what she really meant was I couldn't hold it against her as my friend when she treated me poorly as my boss. The lines were always blurred all the time otherwise, and our lives became very intertwined both in the office and outside of it. My colleagues, friends, and family all made several comments to me of concern about this over time, but I made excuses for her a lot, even when I've been brought to tears by how she's spoken to me. I knew she had a very difficult upbringing and experienced a lot of trauma, so I would tell them she really didn't mean it and tried not to take it personally. You can only give someone so much slack.
Yeah, especially it's like your trauma is not an excuse for you to just treat people poorly.
Yep. She could be really fun and generous when she wanted to be on her terms, but otherwise, she was snappy, intense, extremely moody with severe swings, insensitive, condescending, and acted as if she knew everything. Everyone else, from experience, knew to keep their distance from her, but my job was specifically tied to hers, and we became close that I loved her despite these issues. She had been abandoned so many times by so many people over the years, and had repeatedly asked me to never to leave her, telling me I was the best job title she'd ever hired by far, and she didn't know how she'd gone all these years without me. She told me I was the embodiment of agape love. I would promise her that I was loyal and wasn't going anywhere, and was very vocal about it and how much I loved my job. My husband was always worried that things wouldn't end well because he knew I couldn't emotionally handle being whiplash ad nauseum. But I was so stupidly trusting of her love bombing, and things were going well that I'm ashamed to admit I cowed down when things weren't. To avoid the blow up I witnessed on numerous occasions. She treated me like this in every facet and was sometimes oddly possessive / jealous. She would get angry with me and call me unprofessional for being overly friendly with my coworkers. For example, after I'd worked there for a very short time, I sent a friendly happy anniversary message in the team chat for 2 coworkers' work anniversaries.
Workiversary,
yay! Which everyone responded positively to, including her husband. But Donna was not happy.
How dare you?
Oh, look at that.
She tore a strip off of me, saying that I was overstepping, that this type of thing was her job, not mine. A few months later, I bought each of my coworkers a very small trinket for their desk with a little personalized card to express my appreciation for working so well with them. Donna was so upset by this that she continued to bring it up in conversation for over a year afterwards. Why does this person have no grace for you? And why is she so mad that you're nice?
It's a crazy thing to bring up a year later.
She told me it was inappropriate and unprofessional, that if anyone is going to be giving coworkers gifts of appreciation, it should be her, not me. I should mention that I had an older coworker who gave beautiful and thoughtful gifts to me and other coworkers so many times, and it was never an issue for her. After I'd been at this job for almost 2 years, I took a vacation, my first vacation in nearly 12 years. Before I left, I scheduled an email to our small but close and casual team to be sent while I was away, telling them I missed them and hope that they're having a great week, and I look forward to seeing them upon my return. Donna showed up at my house unannounced in the morning after I returned from vacation with Starbucks in hand. It's important to note I had just declined a coffee date with her that same morning. I was explaining I was too busy catching up on things at home after returning from my trip. She invited herself inside my home, jokingly chastised me when I didn't offer her a spicy point at 9 a.m. It's illegal here, and we both smoke it, but she does it much more heavily than me, and throughout the day, every day, even while driving or working. So I prepared one for her that she partook in alone. Then she proceeded to lecture me about respecting people's boundaries, telling me the email I had sent was inappropriate and unprofessional and not welcome in her office. So she told me that my coworkers don't like me as much as I like them. They don't want to be my friends, and that I love bomb people by forcing my friendship on them. My email was cringe, and other people had approached her in private to tell her it made them uncomfortable, which I don't actually believe. For clarity, my coworkers had never expressed any of these said boundaries to me, and everyone had always been friendly and open with me. I should have stood up for myself then and there, but I was put on the spot and insulted in my own home, my safe place, intend to avoid confrontation. So I told her that as my employer, if she didn't want me to send emails like that through work, then I certainly wouldn't do it again. But she admitted that as a friend, how she worded that felt really harsh, and she started to tear up. She rolled her eyes at me and told me not to be so sensitive and compared me to a child. A few weeks later, the situation exploded in a way I never expected. For context, I have 2 young special needs children who often struggle behaviorally. For the most part, Donna was always impressively accommodating when I needed to leave work early or work from home on days where my children needed extra care, which was one of the greatest things about my job. She always told me that being a mom came first, and she was happy to help me find a work-life balance. At the end of the school year, June, my kids were having an especially difficult time, and following a particularly violent outburst from my youngest, I began to feel very guilty that I might be failing my kids, that my working full-time was too much for them. I decided to do some math to see if we could afford me to work less. I was shocked to find out we'd actually save money if I worked less, due to childcare costs and other things. So I texted my 3 closest friends sharing that information, and Donna was one of them. She responded saying she wasn't sure what to say about that. I realized she misunderstood my message and explained that I was just musing to a friend. I wasn't actually asking to reduce my hours, and if I were to officially request that, I would do so formally to her as my employer. She didn't respond.
Honestly, dog, at this point, that's kind of on you. Like, it should be
Mm,
pretty clear after she, like, came into your house and, like, rolled up a freaking doobie.
yeah,
Uh,
started
and
going after
and
you.
then went after you for your work ethic and, like, also, like, not knowing. I don't know. Like, it should have been very clear. Like, okay, these lines are getting blurred, and, like, the difference between her as my superior and her as my friend is no longer, like, it doesn't exist really
Yeah.
anymore right now. She felt as your superior, she was entitled to walk into your home.
After
Those
you
are two
canceled,
completely different things.
after you canceled the coffee date with her.
Right. So she's like fully not separating her authority over you as a boss from her, relationship with you as a friend. They're bleeding through entirely.
Yeah,
So you saying that as a friend, got to say that to a different person because she's both always at the same time.
exactly. The next day at work, her husband came into my office, told me that Donna told him that said working for them was costing me money. I told him that I most certainly did not say it like that and didn't mean it like that, but I had done some math after an extremely difficult few days with my children's behavior. He said they wanted me to do what was best for my family and would try and support that. After he left, I started thinking about the idea of working less in more detail and went to his office to tell him I might have an idea that would work for all of us. But I needed to crunch some numbers first and discuss with my husband. He told me sure and to let him know. Soon afterwards, Donna started sending me text messages. She was livid that he betrayed her trust by talking to me about this and bringing this issue into the workplace. She vented, called him a dumb butt, an effing turd, and a useless effing butt, and said she was so effing angry with him she could effing one to him.
Hey, that doesn't sound like a very HR friendly thing to say.
This is even better. She said this is why women are better, and sometimes men aren't just worth it. Effing wiener faces.
And this is another coworker, right?
Still Donna.
But talking about, is the guy a coworker or was the guy like a partner?
The guy's a partner and coworker.
Okay.
So Donna's husband. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Whereas at this point, it's like fully HR. It's full HR time. What are we doing? Well, who is Donna's superior?
I told her I didn't think he meant any harm by it, and I wasn't upset. She told me she understood where I was coming from, but he caused unneeded stress. We went back and forth. She brought up her abandonment issues again. I assured her that I loved my job and her and wasn't going anywhere. She told me that there was no rush. We could table it for another time and brainstorm later. She arrived at work later. We discussed it more and agreed to put a pin in it. The next morning, she texted me saying that she wanted to add one of my job duties that required a lot of walking to the list of things to consider reducing. I have been dealing with a knee issue for over a year that had progressively gotten worse, and I had recently been instructed by one of my medical professionals to start using a cane. Oh my gosh. She didn't like seeing me walk around and approaching clients with a cane and said I was obviously in pain and she felt I was moving more slowly because of it and that was not cost effective for them. Okay.
We're doing we're pulling that, huh? Okay. Do you smell it?
I do.
Do you smell the lawsuit in the air?
Oh,
do you smell the lawsuit in the air about that?
Wait, OP, you're one of us. Dude, you can sue her. Sue her.
Even if you weren't one of us, you should still sue her.
Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah.
she's saying that like your use of a cane is like a detriment to when it's like clearly not.
Yeah. I wasn't actually taking extra time by using a cane, but I was in pain. So I agreed to discuss it. When I arrived at work, she was visibly very upset about something. She told me that she wasn't comfortable with leaving things in limbo. And thanks to her doofus husband, who was sitting right there, for bringing it up at work, we needed to settle my working situation right away that he had forced her hand. But I reminded her that we had agreed to wait. that I hadn't actually asked for anything yet, but she said that that was no longer an option. I went to my office, and soon later, she stormed out of the building. That's when the email started. She initially sent an email to both me and her husband saying that we needed to figure this out as soon as possible. She offered a proposal, new hourly arrangement. I responded that I hadn't even talked to my husband about this yet, and once I had a chance to do it, that I could write up a proposal and that it would start in the beginning of September. She responded that she wanted the reduced hours to begin as soon as possible and not to wait until September. I explained that my children were already registered and paid for summer camp, so I didn't need the reduced hours until school started again, and working less immediately would hinder us financially. She said she would prefer it to begin immediately and would not elaborate on her reasons why. You see what's happening?
I think she's just like hating you now.
Yeah. And she's taking this out on you by reducing your hours.
Yeah, you're being like, oh well, that would actually like hurt us financially if you really did that right now because I don't need it. She's like, yeah, I don't care. It sounds good. I want that. Yeah, they need to be reduced immediately because of my husband.
Yeah, and we already know what's going to happen, but she seems to be leaning on getting rid of you. So this was all really overwhelming, and after many emails, I was having a lot of anxiety and difficult concentrating on my work. So I left earlier than usual that afternoon. I emailed her that evening agreeing to the new proposal schedule after discussing it with my husband. It was 7 hours less work a week than I had been working, but had some remote hours worked in, and I offered to do some extra time from home when needed. The next morning, I woke up to an email she'd sent me around sunrise. She's typically a night owl who sleeps in as late as possible, so her emailing me at that time of day was not a good sign. The email basically said that these reduced hours will work for the summer, but come September, my hours will need to be reduced even more so she can hire someone else to split my job in half. She's punishing you. What she's doing. She went on to explain that I was putting her in hardship and she needed to do what was best for her business, and that me doing this was very hurtful and stressful, and she couldn't be expected to make all of these sacrifices for me and to pick up my slack by doing a part of my job due to my knee issue, which was entirely her idea, not mine, only to better my situation because of my choices. I suddenly felt really scared about my job security and was overcome with all the stress I'd been dealing with, and unfortunately, I suffered a major panic attack. I'm talking sobbing uncontrollably, drooling on the floor, pupils dilated, hyperventilating, a panic attack. My husband witnessed this and was very worried about me. Once it was over, I quickly developed a very painful migraine and had to message our team chat that I was staying home from work because of it. Donna replied, but deleted the message before I could see it. My husband also took the day off to stay with me, so I wasn't left alone in that state. That evening, she messaged me to ask how I was doing and said she was there if I needed to talk. The next day at work was tense and awkward. She emailed the entire team announcing my new hours effective the following week and that she was taking over my job duty regarding my knee moving forward. I reiterated that I was capable to continue doing this aspect of my job, and you should see the overly official ChatGPT super HR themed response that I got.
Yeah, it's time to call the lawyer.
I kept my head down and did my job and went home for the weekend. I posted on my personal Facebook about my panic attack due to stress as a way of bringing awareness and support to mental health. Donna loved my post and texted me telling me that she was thinking of me and she adores me and is always there for me if I want to talk, and that she loves me. I was flabbergasted. I messaged back thanking her, but saying that I wasn't really sure how to respond because after everything that had happened that week, I was feeling hurt and backed into a corner. I told her it was something I think we needed to discuss at another time, but it wasn't in the right space for talking about right now, but didn't want to give her the silent treatment either. She replied and said she disagreed. We needed to talk about it, and we needed to talk about it tonight.
I don't know, man. I would, like I said, I would be in communication with a lawyer at this point. I know your doctor said that you should use a cane, but like, I don't know if you need like a legal status as disabled in order to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
But whatever it is that you would maybe need to go through to get that status, I would look into that.
She said that she would not continue this way for very long that I started all this by sending an unprofessional and hurtful text message. She said I caused this mess and she does not often experience daily drama and was not about to start now. Text messages kept coming one after another. I told her I was sorry. I couldn't talk about it right now. I felt like I was going to have another panic attack and needed to turn off my phone. The next morning, I woke up to an email she had sent me in the middle of the night. She apologized for the way things had gone lately and said our new arrangement felt like a lose-lose situation and she believed in win-win deals and asked if there was any way we could reach a compromise for now. At least she kind of has a heart. I don't know. I don't know. She said she was sorry. She insisted I reduce my hours right away. But my random text in the middle of June was painful and felt like a slap to the face. She continued to word that text in the misunderstood way and went on to basically say how much of an inconvenience I was causing her. She offered some alternatives. Later that morning, she sent me a personal text saying that it was important that I knew that even when we are having a disagreement, she still cares about me very much. I tried my best to respond to the email explaining that my main priority was being more available to my children after school when they seemed to struggle the most, and gave a detailed response on a working arrangement that could potentially work better for the both of us. I saw her later that day while I was dropping off my kid at camp. She gave me a big hug and told me again that she loves me. My other child started having a meltdown, so I had to leave. Later, she responded to my email saying she was happy with it and it felt like a better compromise and a win-win for both of us. At this point, it felt like the work hour situation was resolved, but the misunderstanding and how she had been treating me was not. And I didn't think I could go back to being her friend if those weren't also addressed, since our work life and personal life were so intertwined. Sometimes I think back what happened next and wish I would have just left it alone. Other times, I'm glad I spoke up and attempted to defend myself. So later that weekend, I sat down and wrote a long email response going over what had happened in an attempt to explain where I had been coming from and why I felt so stressed and hurt, and to clear up any leftover misunderstanding. I was genuinely hoping for peace and amicable resolution by getting it all off my chest in a respectful way. She responded addressing me by my given name and not the nickname she always called me, which is never a good sign. She said that her and her husband had nothing further to discuss regarding this matter. She thanked me for the clarification, but said the hours were already agreed upon, so to please and try to enjoy my weekend. This has been resolved as far as they are concerned. But was it? The following Monday morning, I had to stay home sick. Really bad timing, I know, but trust me, when I say it was not within my control, I needed to stay very close to my bathroom that day. The next day, while at work, she sent me a message on the work chat that we needed to have a discussion. I won't get into the whole half-hour conversation, but it started with her asking me if I was still planning on working my hours and doing my job. I was confused. She said I didn't seem like I'd been coming into work much lately. I was still confused and asked if this was about me calling in sick the day before. It was, and she clearly didn't believe I was actually sick. She even brought up my final email and wanted to know why I sent it after things were resolved and why I included her husband in the email, telling me it was very unprofessional and inappropriate. She told me I was causing daily drama in my manic state. I have an anxiety disorder and I have never in my entire life been in a manic state. She said she had to tiptoe around me to avoid offending me all the time, again telling me I'm unprofessional and comparing me to a child.
This is like holy projection, Batman. This is everything she's saying about you, OP, is like more about her. She sounds like she's always in a manic state.
Yeah.
And then she goes crazy on it. And like you said, it's like I don't have mania, I have anxiety. Like I don't blow up, I shut down.
Yeah.
Like, so it's, I hope you've got a record of all of this.
Also,
Just
where do you work?
Start keeping a record of everything that your boss is doing. Because this is not your friend anymore. This is just your boss. We talked about this the other day where it's like there's moments when you have, and like when I have an old boss who's like my best friend. So you can be really good friends with your boss. But there are moments in like these kind of dynamics and relationships where it's like everything changes and it's like a fork in the road.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, okay, this is the way we're going to be going about this now, huh?
Yeah.
We had been being cool, but now now you're reducing my hours and putting like my financial security at risk and like treating me like crap all the time. It's like,
Compare me
okay,
to a child.
right. We're clearly down this is all business and I'm going to approach it as business. And guess what? If a business treats me poorly, I'm going to run its pockets for all that I can.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to care that you were my friend because you're not.
Don't worry. I'm not going to abandon you. I'm going to sue you.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving until I get my money.
Don't worry. I'm just going to give you the opportunity to pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yay. We all love doing that.
Bootstrap boo.
I told her that was really ironic and felt to me like she was projecting, and eventually asked if she was considering telling me that I love bum people to be a professional way to behave as an employer. She claims she said that to me as a friend, not an employer. Ooh, don't get those mixed up, OP. Ooh. Things went back and forth for a while, and she told me that her husband told her I'm effing lying about my initial text message, that I sent him into a depression over all of this, that I blew up our friendship, and I should take the rest of the week off. I asked her if it was a paid leave. She said, oh, right. Then consider this my 2-week working notice instead. She huffed out of my office saying, sorry, this has been such a horrible place to work, and I have been such a terrible person to work for.
Trying to say that ironically to Guilt OP, not realizing she was just like telling the actual truth is hilarious.
She quickly sent an email to the entire team, except for me, telling everyone that effective 2 weeks from now, I would no longer be working for the company. It read, this decision was made after careful consideration and is in line with our commitment to maintaining a productive and positive work environment. It has also been brought to my attention that some team members may not feel comfortable speaking with me directly due to the fear of repercussions or concerns about being treated unfairly or harshly by me. This is something I take very seriously, and I apologize if that continues to be the case. Complete delusion, in my opinion.
So she sends that message being like, yeah, effective in 2 weeks, I'm firing this woman because she slighted me. And also, I've heard that people don't think they can talk to me about stuff. So I'm really sorry about that, but you totally can.
What is happening? After this email was sent, one of my coworkers immediately went homesick. A private meeting was held between Donna and another staff member considering management. Immediately afterwards, Donna came back to my office, told me that there had been chatter, so my staying 2 weeks wasn't going to work out and I needed to leave immediately.
What?
Be told I already packed up my stuff. I knew there was no way she'd be mature enough to work alongside me amicably for the next 2 weeks. By the way, we got more than 2 weeks of content on your favorite podcast platform. All you got to do is search up OK Storytime on Apple, iHeartRadio, or Spotify. Go watch us there for longer than 2 weeks.
Dude,
But
2 weeks times 35, that's
Really?
70 days.
Oh, yeah, that's where we're at. Oh, wow. But, dude, what the heck is happening? What the heck?
I think it's clearly lawyer. Lawyer, 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 lawyer. Lawyer, get the lawyer. This is a slam dunk. If this company's making any money, it's yours now.
Yeah. She had blocked me on social media by the time I reached my car. She sent me my final paycheck, including severance, but made some errors, so there was still some back and forth emailing to resolve it. She posted on our local moms group that the same afternoon that she was looking to hire someone drama-free to fill my position in a community where many people fully knew I was the one she was referring to. She also posted a gift that she'd bought for me but had it given to me for sale on Marketplace, saying it was no longer needed. A few days later, she removed me from a local social group she started as a side business venture that I had a paid membership for. So Reddit, jury, and OK Storytime executioner, have you reached a verdict? What will you say?
I say
Honestly.
lawyer.
Dude, just get
Law
just
her.
Law her.
for real, and keep us updated on this.
Law her up, dude.
You don't need to deal with this whatsoever. This is ridiculous
Yeah,
in every
all
way,
that
shape, or
stress.
form. Oh my gosh, please talk to a lawyer immediately.
My previous boss was a terror, but now I'm finally free. I, 27 female, started working for a small one-attorney law office 3 years ago. I was very excited to work there because I believed in the cause. I immediately noticed the vibe was off about my boss, 37 female, but I didn't take the opportunity to run right away. By the way, this comes from user NoFrosting255, and you can submit your own stories on the r/OK Storytime subreddit, and let's see what OP has to say. She said in the interview that the office was big on training. but I soon learned that wasn't true. Instead, I was very quickly given a high caseload with no instructions on what to do with them. She knew I was new to the industry and would need help understanding complicated legal stuff, but instead of the promised training, I was snapped at for asking questions and making mistakes, and for not asking questions before making mistakes.
Oh, man.
She also told me on my first day that I'd need to learn a new language, which was a complete shock. It didn't take long to see that every employee was scared of her. Her passive aggressiveness and unreasonable expectations took a serious toll on their mental health. When I had been there 7 months, 3 of her 5 employees gave notice on the same day. Suddenly, all that was left was her, me, and a freshly hired 21-year-old former frat boy who was an absolute idiot. I was the most senior paralegal there. She needed so much extra help that I ended up asking my mom to come help. A huge mistake, but I was younger and dumber then. I dreaded going to work. I felt sick every Sunday knowing what the week would bring. Employee retention was terrible. By the end of my employment, 21 employees had come and gone just within my time there, excluding the people who were there when I started. That is a lot of turnover. She once hired a friend of hers as an attorney after really pressuring her, and by the end of her employment, the friendship was finito, gone, scramoosed, obliterated.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're getting it.
Another employee was so scared of her that she quit while the boss was in surgery, like a...
Oh, my gosh. OP.
Okay. Like a spouse fleeing while their was at work. I frequently compared working for her to a harmful relationship because there was no better way to describe the psychological torture. She used the same playbook as to snap at you 1 minute and then be super sickly sweet the next.
Ew.
I have a list on my phone of some of the craziest stuff she's done. She took every opportunity to be mean. She ran a background check on my sister-in-law when she saw my brother was engaged on my mom's Facebook, then just casually told me she did it with no prompting. She offered to run a background check on someone I dated while working there. I think she would have just done it on her own, but luckily my ex was non-binary, and the name I used talking about them wasn't their legal name. She invited us to sleep over at her apartment.
What?
I walked upstairs at my house one day, and she was just there because she texted my mom asking if she could bring me something. She made lots of comments about me living with my parents. The bizarre behavior was endless. She got advice from a pet psychic about whether she should put her dog down. She told a new employee that she had a vision of her very Hispanic, recently deceased grandmother. The grandmother is white. She told another...
Holy airball!
just like crazy.
She's white. No. She's Hispanic. What?
Oh my God.
Huh?
She told another employee that she had a vision of a blonde man and thought it was her boyfriend. The boyfriend is black. She told her the
airball again.
Yeah, just
holy airballs.
She told me her entire dating history, disgusting, including when she cheated on her girlfriend. Not that she would consider it cheating because her girlfriend kept accusing her of cheating. She told my... Wait, what? So because your girlfriend accused you of cheating...
You're not going to
You're like, well,
cheating.
I guess I got to cheat because she accused me.
Oh, I was already doing it.
That's like somebody being like, are you on? And you being like, I am now, thanks to you.
Do you want me to be?
Now it's time. Yep, the time is now.
Dude, what?
All because you said that.
What is this woman?
She told my mom that she left her ex-wife shortly after the ex gave birth because she wasn't attracted to her anymore and that they hadn't slept together for years before she left. She told me I should stop dating men and non-binary people and went on a rant about how N-bis and gender diverse people as a whole just have too much baggage. She used my spicy sleep orientation as a pitch to new clients to show how LGBTQ the office was. To be clear, I'm very much out and proud, and I have no problem with clients knowing that I'm cool. It was the fact that my identity was being used as a tool for capitalism that I had an issue with. She bragged about helping campaign for harsher anti-working laws, which only made spicy sleep work less safe for the spicy sleep workers. She says plants are her friends, and she wouldn't stop buying them, which caused a gnat infestation.
Who is this? Who is this person?
That looks so
She's
sad.
having this conversation with your mom?
No, these are all the crazy things that she's done.
Okay,
I hope.
this is crazy. Some of this was had with OP's mom, though. Yeah, I guess not. Yeah,
Oh
okay.
my gosh.
She asked a random lady who was related to a client if she could take her picture and paint her. She says she's basically African. She's white. When an employee who held an admin position quit to become a nanny, she lectured her about wasting her potential and how she was too smart to be a nanny. We're shaming nannies now?
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Straight people and nannies.
She called all her adult employees kids. She said Brazilians aren't trustworthy.
I'm done. I'm done. No, you will never talk about my Brazilian men this way. They are hot and
they
they
not-
are good.
Wait, are you saying Brazilian men are not trustworthy?
No, they are. They are trustworthy. Do you know how hot they are? Do not even get me on this. No.
How do you just drop the... I don't trust the Brazilian.
She just pick a lane, lady.
She gave me a, is that bookmark? She dropped her dirty underwear on the floor and mentioned her huge front airbags multiple times.
Why is the underwear dirty?
Where was
At
that? At work?
Is there a laundry machine there?
What is going on?
All right, go on.
She
Who is this?
interrogated one of my coworkers about where I went when I left the office at 5 p.m. on a Friday. One of her guesses was that I was going on a date. It was actually a boudoir shoot, but also none of her business.
She wants to see those photos. Anyways, go on.
She was basically offended when an employee said that his personal time was for him and his wife, and to not text his personal phone about work. She texted me at 10:30 p.m. on a Sunday to see if an employee had blocked her. She had. She didn't tell me her dog was dog aggressive when I brought my dog to the office, and she didn't think to put the dog food out of reach when there were 2 dogs present. The unprofessional behavior continued. Her lipstick application looked like a clown's. Now, I know this is mean, but I've earned the right to be mean about her. She did manic reorganizing. She called her partner Dream Crusher to everyone but her.
Heck yeah.
She showed PDA with her partner, including public booty grabs.
Nice.
She told people she was sworn into the Supreme Court, when the reality is she was sworn into being able to argue in front of the Supreme Court. She put a shrimp in the fridge and got mad at everyone for having left shrimp in the fridge. She routinely stole food from employees. She read an employee's personal notebook. She had us go to her apartment frequently enough that I could find my way from the lobby. That's also where I eventually resigned. She walked around barefoot. She asked my zodiac sign during my interview.
I love how this is just a list. I love this.
Despite being a sapphic, she was as heck. She claimed to be an LGBTQ advocate, but she had microaggressions to spare for everyone but the L and the G. She misgendered her high school ex because that's what she identified as at the time. She said, I'm an empath when she doesn't know what empathy is. She told me my coworker's immigration status without permission. She texted me happy birthday 3 months late after I quit, meaning it for her former intern who also hates
Oh
her.
my. I
Keep
want to
going.
meet. I
Keep
want to
going.
meet this woman
Oh,
now.
we've got more.
No, we got so much.
We
I
have
love this.
more?
I love this. This is a list.
I just want to meet this person. I
It's
know
like-
they live in LA.
This is a shopping list.
She told her non-white employees, both in their 20s, that it was probably too late to bother going back to school and that they should just stay paralegals. She never said the same to me.
Oh my.
I
God.
absolutely could go on, but you get the picture.
You did go on.
After years of dealing with this, I decided to go back to school starting in August 2024. I realized I had enough saved for a down payment on a condo and that my mortgage payments would be the same as renting. I bought a condo near my school and moved in a few days before classes began. I stayed on in my job for a while after starting part-time school, but eventually realized I needed to cut back on hours to balance it all. After I cut back on hours, I kept getting assigned new cases, even though my workload was already over 130 cases. Then the checks started bouncing. Maybe started is the wrong word, since the first time was in March 2024, but that seemed like a one-time thing at first. Then it happened again in October of the same year, and not just to me. I tried to meet with her to come up with a plan to prevent it from happening again, but by then I was managing paralegal and was often the voice of reasoning in business and staffing decisions. Her plan was to, quote, get more money, which is literally not a plan. That is a goal, that could only be reached with an actual plan. Then the third paycheck bounced. I handed her my letter of resignation when I went to her apartment for her to write the makeup check. She didn't fight me on it and assumed it was because law school is hard. It is, but obviously I quit over money. That was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. My notice had my last day as January 3rd since it was right before second semester started. Flash forward to Monday. I get a notification from Rocket Money about an abnormally large payment being made. My check bouncing for the fourth time. I texted her that night, it bounced again, and she didn't reply. I tried to reach her all day the next day, and she kept saying she was busy or fully ignoring the texts. I finally got her on the phone at almost 5 o'clock. She said that she didn't have the money to pay me, and I said that I can't work if I'm not getting paid. She said, okay. I dropped my work from home stuff off at the office the next day and left a sticky note threatening to report her to the Department of Labor. She Venmo'd me the money the next day.
Oh my gosh.
I still had to nag her after that to get a correct W-2 and to get her contribution to my 401k, which was supposed to come as a lump sum at the end of the calendar year, but didn't. All that got wrapped up in mid-February. Now I'm finally free of her. Ooh, huzzah! And after a bout of initial depression, I'm doing better than I had in years. I got what I needed out of that job. A law school recommendation letter, work experience, and enough money to become a homeowner at 26.
Oh my gosh.
I took a break from working so I can focus on school. I unfortunately had to take out student loans, but it's fine. Nearly all my peers have them, and for a lot more money. And by the way, there's a lot more full episodes with stories like this on Spotify or iHeartRadio or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen with your pretty little ears to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime and you can listen to over 70 days worth of stories. That's over 1,560 hours worth of stories. That's crazy. We have a little bit more story left. I learned a lot from that experience about the law, but I also learned what I don't want in a career. I think the latter will benefit me more in the long run. I don't think I'll ever want to work for a company without an HR department again, and next time I won't endure it at the cost of my mental health. I'd be fine taking a lower salary in a legal field less appealing to me if it meant having peace of mind. MS. If you somehow happen to cross this post, I don't give a F. I never want to hear from you again. Reading this finally tells you how I've felt since 2022. Before you make contact or in other ways try to retaliate, remember that I attend the school where you are an adjunct professor, and remember how much I know about you. I'm finding peace by not having you in my life, but if you disrupt it, then I have no qualms about going to the dean of students and telling them everything I wrote here and everything I didn't. Estás para mí. And that is the end of that story. It's an ominous ending.